Hey, Gary and Lou, this is Max Clausen. I want to share with you a market analysis that I put together on your house on Owl Roost. Just to provide you with some information, I know that you are thinking about all of your various options, and this will give you some information that might help you along that process of deciding how you want to proceed with a potential future move if that's the case. So anyway, typically when I do a market analysis for someone, I visit their home and pay close attention and take a tour and really look at their home with an eye for value. And I've never done that with yours. So I'm working at a little bit of a deficit, and you're going to have to apply your knowledge on your house when you look at this market analysis to see how it compares to the others that have sold in the last 90 days in the timbers. So I just pulled up public records, and it gives me your beds and your baths, your square footage. I think that's above ground square footage, year built, your lot size, and then some other detailed information on your house. The above ground square footage, no, that was the total. So the above ground square footage, is public record says, is 3,739. The basement square footage, finished square feet, it says that you have 1,300 finished in the basement. So about 2/3 of it finished, maybe. Walkout basement, 2-story fireplaces. So I take this information and then I'll do a search. So I'm going to scroll through here. At any time that you're looking at this video, you can hit the pause button and take a deeper look, because I'm going to try to cruise over this a little bit with a little bit more speed. So then what I do is I go to the MetroList system and I do a search for homes that will be comparable to yours. So they're all going to be in the timbers. They're going to be 2 stories with close to the square footage of yours. And I'm looking in the last 90 days of sales, so the last 3 months, to pull up the most accurate comps. So when I do that search, I come up with 9 houses, 5 of them that are active, available, currently on the market in the timbers, and 4 that have sold in the last 90 days. So I take this information, I do this search, and there's a large amount of information in the MLS. And what I do is I transfer some of that information. I do an export into my own spreadsheet that I can then manipulate, find averages and things like that. So here is that spreadsheet. I transferred the information, imported it into my own spreadsheet, and compare it with yours. So these are the 5 active houses in the timbers that are comparable to your home. Here's the average of those 5, and here's your home on Owl Roost. So on average, out of those 5 that are active on the market, they have 5 bedrooms, so does yours. 5 baths, so does yours. The square footage on average is 3,762. Yours is right in there. So these are really good comps. The finished square feet is within 10%, less than 10%. The total square feet is right in there, just a little over 100 square feet more. The basement square footage and the price. On average, they're asking for $869,580 for these homes on average. Now, we typically don't use actives to establish a price, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at your house from all different areas, from all different sides. One of them is the actives. And if you do decide to put your house on the market, that you would have to place it on the market compared to the others. So there's 5 currently that are very comparable to yours, and you would have to place it knowing that those 5 are in competition, and we'd have to see how does yours compare to those and where it should be placed so that you can sell it relatively soon without making major price adjustments. This is the price per square foot above ground. On average, they're asking $233 per square foot for the above ground square footage. The finished price per square foot, whether the basement is finished or not, is $161. This is the total price per square foot. And the lot size, yours is a little bit smaller than the typical lot in the timbers there, but I shouldn't say the typical, I should say these out of these 5. But the setting where you're backing to the open space and siding to the park is really unique and desirable for sure. This is days on the market. And so the average house that's on the market right now, comparable to yours in the timbers, has been almost 5 months on the market. Okay, so we look at those. These are the solds, and they have more meaning to them. And there's 4 homes that have sold in the last 90 days in the timbers that are very comparable to yours. On average, I'm trying to manipulate this. On average, they have 4 bedrooms and yours has 5. They have 5 bathrooms, same as yours. And these are a little bit smaller, not a lot, but a little bit. So a little bit smaller above grade, a little bit smaller finished square feet, a little bit larger actually in total square footage. The basements are a little bit bigger, a little bit, not much. And on average, these have sold for $791. These are real numbers. These aren't pie in the sky. Some of these up here on the actives could be pie in the sky. Like this guy has his house priced on Horned Owl for $924, and he's been on the market for 10 months. So I can see there's some pie in the sky there, most likely. Okay. These solds, when we look at the numbers on these solds, the days on the market, this was about 2 weeks on the market. This one's about 2 months on the market, 2.5 months. That one was a year, but that is a unique situation we'll talk about in a little bit. And this one is about, 6 months on the market? So anyway, this chart has a lot of good information there. If I take these price per square foot figures, and again, this isn't going to give us the final number. This is just a different way of looking at it. We looked at it compared to the actives, and we see that the average active is $869,000. Now we're going to look at the solds in a couple different ways. The above ground price per square footage, on average, those houses that actually sold got $226 per square foot above ground. If we take that number and multiply it by your above ground square footage, we end up with $845. If we look at the finished square feet, I think you have a pretty big area in the basement that isn't finished, but I'm not sure. And we multiply that by finished square feet, and if you do have that big area in the basement that's not finished, then let's see. We're saying your finished square feet are about 5,057. Multiply that out, we get $870,000. And then the total square footage, if we multiply, on average, those houses that sold got $142 per square foot total. And we take your total square footage and multiply by 142, we get $808. So there's kind of a big discrepancy there, but it's about $62,000 from the high to the low. But we can kind of see a pattern starting. I don't like the pattern as far as the wide range there, but we can see a pattern forming there. What I do then is I'm going to take you to the listings and show you what these houses that sold look like in detail. So if I go back to the MLS, and we're going to really concentrate on these solds. These are the ones that have real numbers. No pie in the sky. These are actual numbers that traded hands, loans were given, cash was given, and these houses sold. So that's as good as it can get in the last 90 days. This first house on Tohi was originally priced at $782,500, and they ended up selling it for $777,500. It was on the market for just a little over 2 weeks. And so, again, you can stop this and look anytime in more detail. 4 bedrooms, 4 baths. Here's the dimensions of the rooms, and in this area it might give you a little bit more information. There's only 3 bedrooms up with 2 baths. I think in houses of this size, 4 bedrooms up is going to be the most desirable. So out of the bedrooms, 4 of them were up, and 3 of them were up, and 1 of them was in the basement. And then here's the realtor description that usually embellishes the features of the house. Okay, let's take a closer look at this in the pictures and see how it compares to yours. 3-car garage. It has those small garage doors, which are kind of a pain. I have those on my house, and I'm not too thrilled with it. Dusty brass fixture here. I think these pictures are pretty inferior. But a typical Timbers house, you know, it has the coffered ceilings, has some interesting, this is around the year 2000, interesting details and features in the sheetrock. Light carpet, neutral paint, kind of the honey oak looking orange woodwork, which isn't as desirable now as it was then. But a very nice house. It shows well. You know, a lot of oak. Those might be maple cabinets. They could be oak. It's not what people are looking for now. There's one of the houses right now that we'll see what is really popular at this time. Has a nice sunroom. Kind of a Xeriscape looking thing in the back. It might not be the best for kids. A nice working area on the island there for food preparation. Not a huge kitchen, but not a small kitchen. It has double oven and stainless steel appliances. Granite, that might be granite. That looks a little bit different than this surface, but that could be Corian too. So granite is the most popular right now. Maybe slate even now. So a pretty year 2000 house in the Timbers. Has the opening to the open space, very similar to yours. This looks like it's tile, small tile. This is more like what people are looking for in the upstairs now. This is the basement finish, and looks to me like they spent more money on the basement finish than what the builder spent on the upstairs as far as price per square foot. They have this kind of coppery paneled ceiling, and the dark woods are what people are looking for. Maybe not even the red, but even brown, dark brown. We'll see some of that. This is the bar in the basement, the wine bar. An office upstairs, maybe upstairs, might have been the walkout. So very similar to yours on Tohi. Tohi's kind of a big loop. I think you're probably familiar with that one. All right, if we go to the next house on Gopher, And they originally started at $775, and then they ended up selling it for $750. And it took them to go under contract. They were 75 days on the market until it went under contract. So they had to reduce the price, but not too much as far as percentage wise. And then again, you can stop this if I'm going too quickly. Beds, baths, full baths, and a quarter bath. So it has 4 full baths and then a powder room, probably on the main level. Here's the dimensions, and it'll tell you Jack and Jill. 3-car garage. And here's the realtor write-up. Okay, if we look through Tohi, has a, not too different from your house on the exterior. Yours, you have the big porch, and I'm saying not too different in that you have the side load garage. But if you look over here, they're kind of tight with the neighbor over there. That's something that you don't have. And again, pretty year 2000 Timbers house. Really nice, elegant. They got plantation shutters and a lot of hardwood on the floors. A lot of natural wood, but it's a little bit maybe not what people are choosing right now when they go shopping. If they're shopping for new hardwoods, more people are leaning toward the darker palette. But the coffered ceilings, a lot of really neat features on the house. This one has a small kitchen, in my opinion. This countertop isn't a food prep area at all. And if you look, you'll see in the next picture, this area that they have 3 chairs around gets all distorted, and it looks so long, but it's not. And so there's not really hardly any food prep area on the counters in this kitchen. Is that it for the kitchen? Yeah. And so these are tiled. They're not slab, and people are really leaning towards slab granite at this time. Here's the master. Has an upper deck. Lots of, I think that's hickory floor. Master bath, tile, granite tile, not slab granite. It has plantation shutters. I think this is a secondary bath with the Jack and Jill. Here's the Jack and Jill. There's the other bedroom. And then the other one bedroom has its own bathroom, and I think that was the bedroom, the secondary bedroom that has its own bathroom. So here's the basement. Nice finish. Very similar to the upstairs. Has the walkout. Very similar finish to the as the upstairs. Media room, I guess, with a pretty small screen. And there's the basement bathroom, very similar to what's upstairs, almost identical. These views, I don't think that these views are really what you see. I think these are from an upstairs bedroom that isn't really available. Look, you see the neighbor's roof. If this was off of a deck, if I was taking the picture, I'd have it on the railing on the deck, so the person looking at the picture could tell that you were standing on the deck. So that's why I think that they're embellishing this. So that's similar to your garage situation right there, that side load garage. Here's the back. So that's that property. On Gopher, if we compare to yours, this one is a modern house. This is the one that was built in 2016, and it's showing that it was on the market for 369 days. Now that's not accurate. Typically what happens on these, and that's what happened here, is that the builder, it'll be a custom home builder. They'll get the lot and they'll start marketing it as a dirt lot. And for a couple months, they'll market it and say, hey, I'll build you a house on here. And then they start building the spec home. And it might not be selling, and they're building the foundation. They say, hey, we can still move walls around if you want to buy the house now. And then as it progresses along and they start building it, and they say, well, you can still pick the kitchen cabinets and the countertops and the flooring and the paint colors. And then as it gets further along, then they just finish it, and it just gets further and further along, and then they ended up selling it. So this house wasn't built, finished, and then went on the market and hung out for over a year. That's not the way it went. A house like this takes about a year to build. So that was the scenario there. This one is just shy of $1 million, but this one you can see has a different look. And this is what they're building in the timbers now. It's a craftsman style mission ski lodge kind of a look to it. This is what is popular currently. A lot of dark woods, and a lot of wood, a lot of stone, and this rough timber. So it's a different look. Some different colors. They got the sage green in there. I think that was the master. This is the office. And here's the kitchen. Lots of counter space. A big island, and then a lot of counter space wrapping around the kitchen. So it is a kitchen that a gourmet cook could live with. And gas stove, and the backsplash, and can lights, lots of lights. And this darker wood, looks like cherry to me, goes throughout the house. So it goes up the stairs, the trim, the doors, and it's carried on throughout the house. There's the gas range, top load microwave in the island. It's nice. It's brand new. It's all modern. This is what people are building now, and this one's going for almost $1 million. It actually sold for almost $1 million. Butler's pantry. Here's the master again. That dark wood, not quite cherry. It looks like maybe cherry stained hickory because it's mottled and has some character to the wood. This is the master suite, master bath. I think that's a secondary. No, that might be the master still with the doors closed. Yeah. Could be a secondary bedroom. Yeah. A little bit of a lofty area there. Secondary bath. There's the master walk-in closet. There's the back of it. Looks like they kind of embellished some of the color there. All brand spanking new. Backs to the drainage area, similar to yours. You don't have a neighbor right out your back door. 3-car garage. Good looking house. So I guess we scrolled through there. It's got 7 bathrooms, 5 bedrooms, and you can freeze this if I'm scrolling too quickly for you. Okay. Here is the last one. Now I'm looking at all of those that have sold. So this one started out at $750. They were off the mark. They started out at $750 and they came down to $645. That's a pretty big price reduction. And let's see, Let me scroll through this one. First of all, 4 bedrooms, 5 baths. 3 bedrooms up. And 1 on the main. I guess it has a main level master. Let's see. Yeah, main level master. And then 3 bedrooms up. So that's a nice configuration. Maybe not for people with little babies. They usually like to be a little bit closer than a floor away. But definitely for older kids, having them on a different level is kind of nice. Or in a different state. Okay, let's look at the pictures on this one. This one, the one thing in the price on this one is it doesn't have a finished basement. So if you look, it's pretty much surrounded by houses. It doesn't have that privacy that yours did as far as backing to the park, backing to the open space. Pretty plain. Maybe maple cabinets. That lighter color that's not quite as popular as it once was. Corian type synthetic countertop. Again, not as popular as the granites that have all of the character. Pretty plain palette as far as the carpet, and it doesn't have some of the funk that one house that was built brand new had. A lot of bold features and colors and textures. This one has a lot of staircase, and that's pretty nice. Has like a sweeping staircase. Let me go back there. I think that, no, maybe not. I thought that was a brass light fixture. It's definitely not as popular. Wood windows. I'm not sure about the exterior, if they're vinyl clad or aluminum clad, which would be better than wood on the outside. The master is pretty basic, and it has, these 6-inch tile for around the tub surround and the countertops. So definitely not what people are looking for if they have their choice, but people would buy that and they'd say, yeah, eventually you'd like to update. Again, this bullnose 6-inch, 4-inch tile. You can see it there on the countertop. And so here's the unfinished basement. Now, we saw that, and I think you guys probably see it throughout your neighborhood. People are finishing these basements to a higher quality, and they're just going hog wild. And so the basements are typically finished nicer than the upstairs as far as the price per square foot. The builder chose the things with the leaning toward economy, and the homeowners, when they finish these out, a lot of them will go over the top. And so a basement of this size could easily cost $100,000 to finish. And so that's one of the reasons we're seeing that price a little bit lower on that house, is because of the unfinished basement. Okay. So going back to this grid, the graph of the solds, in order for me to make a better assessment of the value of your property, I'd have to visit it and spend some time walking around, looking at your features, looking at your updated features and the ones that are original. And that would help me get a good estimation. But I think you guys can see, based on obviously your intimate knowledge of your home, probably how it fits into this grid here. If we look at these houses here, we're looking at, this is a little bit more pie in the sky. On average, the ones that are selling for right around 800, and the ones that are active on the market are asking 870. And I think that is, trying to break records. And of course, that's the goal, to get out with as much money as you possibly can. But hopefully this gives you some good information so that you can apply it to your plan and have a good idea of what kind of equity that you have in your house. By all means, give me a call anytime if you want me to come take a peek at your house and look at it with that trained eye. Just let me know.